I have a little hack with your young children. You too can use at home.
Will I benefit from this?
You absolutely will. I think both your kids would go well with this
I'm
one.
craving a hack, so hit me with your hack.
So how many times do you say, put your shoes on in the morning, do you reckon, roughly?
Maybe 37.
300. Oh, yep, 37.
That's a lot though. Like really, imagine yourself saying put your shoes on 37 times.
Well, I can imagine because I also do that.
Yes.
Brush your teeth, do your hair, get your bag, all that stuff. So this morning, I don't know why I had the energy for this because I don't, but I just went, is that a teddy robot? And I turned him around and I tapped his back and I was like, programming teddy robot to put his shoes on. And he did it in one go. And then he was like, shoes are on. And I was like, programming teddy robot to brush his teeth. He's like, brushing teeth activated. And he went and brushed his teeth. And I did his entire thing one time, one prompt for every teddy AI output.
Quezzy.
Yeah.
How many times have you done this robot?
One time this morning.
Play?
One time this morning. So therefore I'm an expert.
It's guaranteed to work
one time.
Every time.
Well, you know what? That's one morning you didn't have to go grey.
Do you know what? I also think this goes into there are two types of people, Cam, because I love a role play with my kids. And when I'm in the mood,
when you're in the mood.
Yes, I'm up for it.
When you've got the energy.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it does require energy, but there will be some DLs who are like, fuck that, nah. I have time for that
Fuck
shit.
that noise. I've got no humour left.
And I don't want to pretend to press imaginary buttons into your back and give you instructions. I'm already instructing Siri, Alexa, Google, chat.
Wow. Did you really just open everyone's devices?
Soz everyone. Should we get into the episode?
Yeah.
We have 1,000 things to do, but we'd rather chat to you. With emails and meetings and husbands and kids, we don't have time for this. Just what you need, two basic bitches with a podcast.
Hello and welcome to We Don't Have Time for This. I'm your host, Gemma Pranita, aka Gemma Peanut on the gram, along with my co-host,
Kate Reeves. Before we get started, please tell me you've set your alarm for Monday.
I hope so.
Tickets to our live show. Who is she? Who is she?
Go on sale this Monday. Consider this your second final warning. We'll be reminding you again on Friday in our Bestie Hotline episode. But this is it, guys.
Yeah, who is she? Is she someone who has tickets to the show? Only you will know.
Who is she? Is she dance captain of her crew of friends?
Yeah.
And she's done a poll in the chat group.
Yep.
They've got their dates aligned, ready to go.
Yep.
Ready to purchase.
But they've booked a restaurant beforehand.
Yeah.
Maybe they're booking a night away. Who is she? Is she booking a night away?
Stop it.
That would be good. We love it when that happens.
Actually, speaking of night away, can I just reflect on something that happened a couple of weeks ago? So Revz and I hosted the Women and Children First fundraising event. We were so touched by how many DLs attended this event. But that's not what I wanted to talk about. It was more that these DLs had organized girls' trips and a whole weekend situation, going to the theater, booking a hotel, booking dinner together, having qual family time. And granted, it was back when it was Mother's Day weekend.
You say family time. You mean chosen family.
Sorry, did I just
You said qual family
Did
time.
I just let that
Robot
slip?
chummy programmed to put family first.
Must optimize families' quality time as a number one preference. Wow. Sorry, qual girl therapy time.
Yeah, they were access denied and they took their girls on a trip.
Anyway, it's just so heartwarming to chat to our DLs here where they, like, one of the girls, shout out to Village for Mama, like she flew in from the Northern Rivers region to have a weekend with her bestie and added this fundraising event onto the menu of things to do to get.
It's inspiring.
It is.
Choose yourselves, ladies.
Yeah, truly.
Make time for yourselves. We got to fill up that cup so you can pour it out to everyone. Don't forget.
They bleed us dry.
Yeah.
You got to do an blood infusion, transfer at some point.
Yeah, exactly. So you may as well have a weekend to restock.
GP.
Anyway, set your alarms. Monday, 10 a.m. Tickets to the show. all going on sale, all one time, free for all. It's like we're doing a throwout. That's what they do at school, primary school. Do your kids do throwouts?
No, I've never even heard of that, but it does make me lol. What is it?
Well, I think it's a boy thing. It's like whatever they're into, insert thing here. Beyblades,
Sorry,
Pokemon.
I'll stop you right there. Beyblades.
Oh, it's
Say
coming.
what?
It's coming for you. Around year 1.
Okay.
Yeah, the boys get into Beyblades.
Yep.
Whatever their thing is, they're trading and dealing the dark web of primary school. They do throwouts where like they'll trade everything and it's like, oh, I'll give you a gold, but I got to get 3 silvers for that gold or whatever. But then they'll be like, throw out, and someone will just throw into the air.
Hectic.
Yeah.
And then I imagine like wild rabid dogs being like,
yeah.
It's like when you do a piñata at a party. That shit gets hectic.
I will never do a piñata at a party ever again after I did one.
Oh, really?
Oh my God.
What happened?
Everything. Well, first of all, it doesn't. Either it breaks on the first one and then it's like, oh, or it doesn't fucking break and you have to send some adult in there to like fully beat up this little glittery unicorn so that it shits itself and all the half-priced crappy home brand lollies get, spewed onto the floor.
No.
Sorry, am I being a negative Nancy?
Well, no, I'm just disappointed on the half-price home brand lollies because you fill the piñata yourself.
Oh, no, I bought a pre-filled.
Oh, I didn't know they existed.
Yeah.
Well, that's a hack. I've been buying the Kmart ones and
filling it.
Yeah, and you get like mini-sized Mars bars, the little Smartie packets, the lolly bracelet things.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
a nice
That's worth a hit.
a medley of things in there, but they're not home brand crap. I've hacked it in that I'm on standby, always dodging the swings, but close enough that when whoever knocks it off to the ground, I reach in, pull it up above their heads, flip it upside down and shake it all over the place so that they scatter all over the room, not on one spot, scrumming the shit out of each other.
That's
and
just
injury.
Chummy producing the kid's birthday
well,
party. Make sure it has maximum lolly fall.
Well, it didn't come without many failures and many tears.
Yeah, because often it'll just get whacked, it'll split, it'll go thunk on the floor and there's a crack and it's like, is that it? And then they swarm.
And once the
and then
swarms
they've got
happened,
to rip.
Yeah. There's no coming back from it. It's very Lord of the Flies adjacent.
Very.
It's
Because
not fun.
the traditional piñata, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe
It sprinkles little bits.
No, I believe it's like paper mache. It's not a cardboard fucking 3D printed whatever folded up bullshit. Like it does crack and things trickle out and it's like a bit more of a thing.
I've never seen that happen at a party.
Because we're the Kmart generation.
Aren't we just?
No traditional Mexican fiestas going on here.
No one's making a piñata from scratch at home as an activity with their kids. You're lucky if you get a cake made by your own mum these days.
Wow. I recently bought a cake and then we've already been through this chat about how I used to be cake mum and it used to be the way I showed my love and I would spend days and days and we would design a cake and it was like this big, love language to make these cakes for my babies. And then, I don't know, I was just like, why am I doing this?
Yeah.
So anyway, I was like, I'll buy a cake for Teddy this year, forked out $150, found a great hack that was next day delivery.
Believe it or not, $150 is reasonable in the cake making industry, which blows my mind.
Like, put me to sleep, Jam.
I know.
$150.
No, I hear you. But like I tried to, sorry to hijack your story
take
for
it
a second.
away.
I was telling Hubs for his 40th that I wanted to get him a cake and I was like, can you leave that job with me? Only for him to eavesdrop on a chat with me over the phone to a cake person who quoted me $400 for a cake. And Hubs was like, no.
Yeah.
No, we're not spending $400 on a cake. I'd rather spend $400 on booze. And I was like, but we got to have, anyway, we didn't have
You don't got to have a cake.
You don't got to have a cake.
Cake is one of those things people think they got to have. You don't got to have it. No one's like, when's the cake? Oh, kids are. Kids are. Kids are.
Yes, but grown adults, not essential.
No. And at weddings, they're a prop.
Yes.
Just get a styrofoam cake and we can all have the photo.
100p.
No one wants to actually eat cake.
But back to Teddy's cake.
Yes. Sorry, cake makers. Fuck. If you're a small cake business, we all want cake.
Oh, we all want cake.
Sorry, I'm feeling very fragile about getting shit wrong at the moment.
Oh, yeah.
Just had one of those couple of months. Ever since my fucking reel went viral with the fucking dog and all the people, all the followers flooded in, which feels like it's good. It's not been good, Jem.
Revz, why don't we pivot? I know we were never planning to talk about this, but like, what's going on? Because you are feeling fragile, and
I am.
I reckon our DLs can collectively hold space and handle what you have to say.
Right.
And instead of showing up on the mic and trying to show enthusiasm about cake and even the outsourcing of cake, what's really going on in your mind and your heart? Because
Fair, Bestie, fair.
you've been unsettled. I felt it this
have.
morning, today.
Mate, so
Is this curse aligned?
it's curse adjacent.
Okay.
And I have, okay, we're doing this. Look, so those of you who follow me on Instagram may know that in October last year, I bought my daughter a dog for her birthday, and I filmed my kids hearing the news they were getting a dog, and I made this little reel, and it was highly emotional.
It was beautiful.
They had an amazing, which is so them, over the top, gorgeous, emotional response to, honestly, for Isla, a lifelong dream coming true.
Mm-hmm.
And because the DLs have been on Doggate's journey with us for years,
Yes.
they get it. They
Yep.
know, and they know healing the dog trauma was on my 40 by 40. There's context. There's a journey we've all been on together, right?
However.
So you guys get it. You know who doesn't get it? The internet at large. So, but what happened was, this reel went mental. Like, I'm not talking a million views. It had 44 million views when I took it
Madness.
down. So proper viral. And it reached corners of the internet that I don't ever want to be in, I've learnt. And I didn't know this beforehand. And but my followers went up significantly. Like, the reel obviously just traveled, and people wanted to, I don't know, did they want to follow along the dog journey? Did they want to follow a mum? Did that reel send them to my page and they were like, oh yeah, I'll follow that, whatever. I had this crazy influx of followers, and honestly, without being too hyperbolic, it's kind of changed not my life, but my online life, because
Isn't that interesting?
because it's not DLs.
And it's not your people.
It's not my people. It's not my friends and family. It's not people who found my content, and went
through a
"That's like me."
recommendation and do you know what? We did talk about this when we did an episode on this reel, was you said, well, now are people just interested in dog
stuff?
content?
Yeah.
Like, is that what they're expecting from me?
Yeah.
But that's not what my page was ever
No.
set up for.
And I made it when it started getting crazy, and then I started getting trolled, and then
Yeah.
my kids were getting trolled, and I was like, no. And I took it down, and I was like, absolutely not. And I made a decision. I was not going to change how I do anything. I wasn't going to try and pander to the algorithm or
because this is what people do, and they get
Yeah.
trapped.
and then they get trapped in a niche or whatever.
Yeah.
And me and Jem always say, like, no, we're just going to be ourselves. What's the point of doing it if you're going to like typecast yourself or try and play a role or be a character or whatever? No. The whole point is that we just share who we are today in our
and
lives.
what we're feeling at any given
any given
time,
time.
and all of our interests.
Yeah. And that no woman is this one character, this one two-dimensional person who never breaks their own rules. We're all a big walking contradiction, and we are, as you say, tri-dimensional and all of that stuff. Anyway, it's just slowly ground me down a little bit. And I'll be honest, I'm finding it harder to show up on the mic and on Instagram. Like, I used to just have this lovely vibe online, and it always felt really positive and creative and like a community to me. And now I just feel, I just get a lot of feedback
In inverted
that
commas.
hurts my feelings, and I'm
Because
like,
you're human.
I'm human, but also it makes me second guess and filter myself. And, I know you know this. You've been through this in cycles for your whole online career.
Yeah.
And you're like nodding because you know.
Well, I think a lot of people, even if you're not audience facing on
Yeah.
Instagram, let's say, go through moments of love and hate with the app, and how it can impact their mental health, or if it's serving them because they're getting fed an algorithm where it's suddenly to do with well-being content that you've been seeking, or maybe you've gone through a separation and you're getting fed like divorce positivity content and that's really helping you. It is cyclical and it's ever evolving and ever changing. And the thing about that video of your kids was that you went through such a high where you're like, oh my God, people, the initial uptake of that video was nothing but love and support.
Yeah.
And then it just descended
Yeah, I
into
got hunted down by the Adopt Don't Shop campaign.
just nastiness.
Nasty
Online
comments
nastiness.
comments on me and my family, and I was like, oh my God, I did not sign up for this.
No.
And I don't need to justify my choices
You
to
don't need
anyone.
to justify anything. But while you do have thick skin, it is still just skin.
I know, but I think it's shaken me because it's just not who I thought I was, you know? And I'll be honest, like I just thought maybe I was tough and like I could play in that space and I'm so lucky I don't get affected. But I'm like, turns out I do.
Yeah.
I do get affected.
So aside from that reel, what else has happened that's made you
and
feel
then like I guess the other side of it is, I've made changes in my life where I have to earn a certain amount of money to say live in the house we live in now. So of course I do Instagram partnerships. That's one way I earn money and contribute to my family. And because of now this bigger audience, I do a couch partnership and that goes to places that aren't people I know.
yeah.
And then I get all this privilege, I'd love a new couch, but blah, blah, blah. It's like, must be nice. I bet you're obsessed if the couch is free. And I'm like, no, I'm working.
Yeah.
But it's,
I know, and you don't want to defend yourself. Well,
no, because I've always kind of rolled my eyes at people who are like, pour one out for me as an influencer. It's hard getting a free couch. I'm not saying it's hard. I'm just saying I'm recalibrating and I'm finding it an uncomfortable, weird place, trying to work out, I'm just trying to work out how to show up in these spaces that I've always found really enjoyable and creative and a point of connection. And I'm now finding it really hard and it makes me not want to be there,
Yeah.
But when I think of the DLs, I'm fine. I'm happy.
Yeah,
I love the
totally.
DLs. But it's just you don't know anymore.
I wish there was a way you could cleanse your
I know.
followers
I
of the
know.
assholes.
I know. Or
because-
just randoms.
Yeah.
But you can't. That's kind of the deal with the devil you make, right? When you have a public facing account. I've made massive changes on what I share on there, particularly around the kids. I've done a real overhaul in the BG, about how I want to use that space. But it's But I miss it too. I miss the feeling of having that connection because I think you get if your space changes, you also don't have that back and forth as much. I've really noticed people don't DM me as much. I'm not in as many conversations. And I remember this when I was not an Instagram, I was on Instagram, but I had no platform. I was just on there with family and friends and you had a platform. And I remember you talking about this and I could not relate. I was like, I don't know what do you mean?
What was I saying?
Well, you used to say it's so funny. I've got all these connections with strangers, but my own friends and family don't interact with me on there. And I was always like, and I was trying to give you my perspective, right? I don't think your content's for me. I see Jem on Instagram as she's doing her thing there and I'm watching it and loving it and consuming it and whatever. But I don't feel I was she won't even notice if I'm engaging or not, because I feel you get when it becomes your work and when the followers blow up, it becomes a new space.
Yeah, I guess. I don't
Yeah.
know. Mine's been a slow burn my entire Instagram career. I haven't had an influx.
Yeah, you've never had a spike like
Never,
that.
in your experience. I guess my audience want to be there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
and
not.
have
It's
found,
nice.
I don't know how they found me, but they found me and they've chose to hit follow. But I've never really overthought that because I haven't.
Because it's crazy making and
I
why.
know.
And also I don't want to spend my time on it. And the reason I don't like to talk about it because it sounds, I don't know, I feel I feel self-conscious talking about it because I feel it sounds how the sausage gets made and no one fucking cares. And that's not what we do here on the podcast. We're not here talking about, guys, I want to help you understand what it's like to be an influencer on Instagram. That's not why you're here. We're here to talk about being a woman in 2025, being a mum, being a friend, being a daughter, all those things.
But I think the biggest takeaway from this is, I don't know, once again, it's yet another reminder that there is a person behind that profile picture who fucking feels shit. And sometimes I think there's a culture separate to content creation, influencing, where people have paper thin empathy for celebrities, like Hollywood actors or whatever. And I'm just always I find it really hard. It's like how people hate Delta Goodrem.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't like Delta Goodrem. I hate, and I'm like, how?
Based on what?
But also who is she hurting? And they're
Yeah.
like, oh, she's so inauthentic. And, and I don't know, maybe I have a different perspective because without it sounding like a flex, but it just will. But because I went through the acting industry in my early 20s and I was lucky enough to work on a show like Neighbours, and then I did time living in LA, I guess I got to hang out with celebrities in inverted commas. I don't look at them that way. I look at them as people, but they are known to the public at various levels. Like obviously there's a spectrum, but you have like your Teresa Palmers of the world, who I spent a lot of time with in LA. She's a very dear friend of mine. I spent some time with Delta because we have a very close mutual friend. And so it's not that I'm close friends with Delta, but you know, I would catch up with my other friend and they were living together at the time. And I was just like Delta, this is weird because now it sounds like in defense of Delta, but she is who she is on TV. She is syrupy and saccharine and beautifully enthusiastic and a bit whimsical and but she is that. It's not a mask, it's not a character, it's who she is, and people just want to attack it. And I'm like, but like why? Like I understand if someone's not your cup of tea. Totally. Like not everyone's my cup of tea and I'm not everyone's cup of tea, but I don't understand the vitriol and the need to just be venomous about that and put energy into that. Yeah. I don't have time for that. Yeah. And I hate that you're from an energetic, like if we speak in energy, like you're obviously feeling porous to people's energy at the moment, especially because you've had this curse sensation that you've been dealing with that's sort of bled into May and hopefully not June as we're nearing the end of the month. But I don't know, like.
So I have an update on that and this is fucking relevant. So I don't know if do you follow Mickey Fisher?
Yes.
She's so great.
She's hilarious.
She's just, she's a great follow on many levels. She's an amazing mum to follow. She's just got, 3 kids, 2 dogs, lives in Queensland, chaotic, mum life. She's hilarious. She's a theatre kid, so she's often like singing and dancing in her kitchen.
She's learning to tap dance.
I love it. She just sometimes will write a song. Anyway, she's a psychic medium and she doesn't really sell that. She has a really great podcast called The Village Crazy Lady, which is where she puts kind of all her woo-woo. And she does like Reiki and stuff like that. But she's just an amazing chick and we have become friends online pretty much. And then we met at the live show last year.
It was so nice to hug her
and
see her in the flesh.
She's just a good bird, just one of those top shelf people. Anyway, I went to her and I was like, listen, I need to ask for something. If you have capacity, I'm always like aware, right? She's a tired mum too. And I bet people ask her every day to like,
do a reading.
Connect with their grandma, you know? And I was like, I actually just need help. I have this curse on me, I think. This is what we've decided in the pod family, that someone has my name in their freezer and blah, blah, blah. And I explained the whole situation to her, how like stuff just keeps befalling me. Car accidents, car trouble, sickness, unlucky stuff just mounting at what feels like is escalating.
It's giving Lindsay Lohan Just My Luck.
It is giving just my luck.
Yes.
I should have said that to Mickey. She would have got the reference. Anyway, so I gave her the whole story and she was like, okay, babe, here's how it is. And now I connect the curse to that fucking Buster reel. Let me explain.
Oh,
she's like, listen, people who do what kind of thing that you do with the podcast, right? Is you're sitting there talking to Jem, but you're not just talking to Jem. You're talking to a collective group of us, to an audience. She's like, I see this all the time with performers, teachers, CEO, like people who speak to a large group of people regularly or who are outputting in one direction to like a collective. She's like, it's actually, stay with me, everyone.
We're here.
Stay with me.
On tenterhooks,
She's like, we would never see it this way in society, but it's actually a form of clairvoyance. Because what you're doing is you're sitting in a room and you're talking to Jem, but you're not. You're talking to a larger collective. Now you're putting that energy out.
Yeah.
And she's like, and
you're sending it out. You're like beaming it out.
You're sending it out. She's like, but what you don't also realize is you're also calling it in. So you have Instagram, Facebook group, the podcast, like DMs, all that. She's
Reviews.
like, the energy is collective. And she's like, I don't think you're cursed. I think you have leaky boundaries and you need, like, energetically, not like therapy wise. She's like, what we need to do is help you get like a strong energetic force field.
I love this visual.
She's like, I don't think you're cursed. I just think you're absorbing everyone's shit. And she's like, and
Yeah.
cosmically, everyone's been saying for a while, 2025 is like a hectic year. All these retrogrades, people are not okay. The world is burning down. You know, all the things are happening. She's like, I don't think you're personally cursed. I think you're absorbing and sucking up the collective energy and it's ruining your life. I was like, this makes sense to me.
Can I just say I prefer this
I prefer it.
way more than
Yes.
my name is in someone's freezer.
Well, she said to me, when I empower you, now we're going to do some rituals and like I'm going to empower you to realize that even a name in the freezer, even 20 names in 20 freezers can't actually touch you if you learn to sort of say, I don't accept this universe and you like,
I reject it.
Reject the negative
I
energy.
love that.
And we're going to like rebound. We're going to mirror it off me. You know, I
Yes,
don't need
whereas
an exorcism.
before you were catching
catching
and
and
consuming.
Just fill me up.
absorbing.
Fill me up with
Yeah,
all
just
your shit.
taking the hits.
Yeah. And this isn't saying people are doing it to me. She's saying
No.
like I'm just an open wound basically rolling around in all the like septic of the
Yeah.
world. And I need to like protect the energy, you know? I think we can all understand that as a concept, right?
Of course.
Yeah.
With you, I feel like it's been a bit of like death by 1,000 cuts.
Yeah.
In terms of little bits of comment. You know how things add up really
Yeah.
quickly in value and suddenly it snowballs into a bigger thing. And then now you've become hyper aware of it.
Yeah.
Like permission to get woo-woo for
Ooh.
a second.
Who is she?
Who is she? Like, I feel like you, Kate Revz, have given too much energy to this curse play.
Yeah,
This
yeah, yeah.
idea of a curse, whether I know Mickey Fisher's like, it's not a curse, but
Yeah.
energetically.
I'm like, well, I'm now in a bad luck time and
Yes,
it's
you've-
just going to befall me.
you have fed into
Yeah.
that. And yes, I know it's in your nature to like joke about it and be a bit self-deprecating
'Cause
about
I'm
it.
a clown.
Yeah, she's a clown. I'm loving all these analogies in the lead up to our show. But I also think you need to redirect your energy
Yeah.
to the positives. And here we go again.
Bit of gratitude practice.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I'm not going to call it that because
Fine.
I don't like it.
Rebrand it. I don't
Rebrand.
care. But in reality, it really
Empowering magnetic energetic force field.
is. Okay, she's off. Yep. I've got a Power Ranger next to me. Are you pink or yellow? Which is it?
Pink. Purple. I'm the purple Power Ranger.
Sure. We'll take her.
I don't know. I feel empowered. I am going to do this full moon ritual that Mickey's going to give me. I'm going to do everything she tells me because I just
Great.
really trust her. She's just got it, you know. She gets it. She's a fully realized person. I want to be more like her. But yeah, I know I need to reclaim because I feel like I've lost myself. I mean, Jem, who am I? Someone who can't decide what to do for their birthday, who can't decide what to do with their car, who can't decide what to wear. That's not me. You know, and I'm not that person. Like I've been like affected.
No, do you know what it is? It's like you've stepped into this new life. There has been change.
Yeah.
It's not just aligning with the Buster reel.
Yeah.
Because do you know what else happened around then? First of all, you got the actual Buster.
Got the dog.
Then you moved house.
Yeah.
I know you've touched on all of this, but it's like your life has taken on a slightly different form and you felt a bit foreign, a bit alien in it, a
Yeah.
bit like, oh, I'm adjusting to this new version of me, but with commentary from the
Yeah.
outside world.
Yeah.
Which is what most people don't have. You can just kind of sit in the discomfort and wait until the suit fits nicely. And
Yeah.
you know, it's like a new pair of shoes when it molds to your foot and you're like, it's all working for me. I feel
Yeah.
like that's a little indication into what's happened with you where you're sort of like, who am I?
Who am I?
I've kind of lost my way a little
Yeah.
bit. And this indecision, I think, is a symptom of the situation you've found yourself in.
100%.
Because you are not indecisive.
I'm not.
No.
And it's knocked me around because I
Yeah.
feel I don't have my feet on the ground
Yeah,
anymore.
you're like a boat without a rudder. You're like, I'm meandering this way and I need to steer
I'm
back
just
on the
gonna
course.
say this out loud once because
Do
I
it.
haven't wanted to speak it out loud, you know, but I'm like, there was a version where I was a character of myself where I was single mom, having a hard time, you know, trying to make ends meet, got made redundant, living in a 2-bedroom apartment with 2 kids, you know, and I feel like we love an underdog, right? And then I rebuilt my life and I'm going to say it and own it. I fucking did that.
You did.
Brick by brick rebuilt my life with intention and with purpose. And now
And can I add something else? You became financially literate.
I worked my ass
You
off
did.
on that.
No, you did. I'm fucking proud of you.
I made smart financial decisions. I actively worked on dating and finding a man that I've now then worked on the relationship, you know.
And you're happy.
And I'm happy.
But
And
it's a problem that it makes you less relatable,
I think
potentially less
it's
likable.
less likable.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm like, I think that's what I'm struggling with.
I'm so glad you're saying this out loud,
I don't
Revz.
like saying because it sounds like, poor me, my life's nice.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
People call that smug.
It's the truth. And that's what we've always tried to pursue fiercely is the truth on this
Yeah.
podcast of how women feel.
Yeah, I know.
And we would be doing this podcast the biggest disservice if one of the co-hosts
Yeah.
can't show up to the mic and be in her
Themselves.
truth. And
Yeah.
yes, you are censoring yourself and you're like, oh, I'm so happy to hear you say this out loud because I felt this, but
Yeah.
I didn't quite fully know how to put words around it or if you were even willing to acknowledge that it was a thing.
It's uncomfortable because, but then I really think there is another version,
But it's
right?
less of a comment on you and it's actually a
I know.
comment on the internet, the world, how
world.
we feel about people.
About women. How
and
we feel
women.
about women. Because there's another version, right? Imagine I'm still struggling, hot mess. Oh, the fire brigade turned up again. I almost burnt my house down, had a car crash, still in that 2-bedroom apartment. Oh, I'm still like haven't got my shit together. That goes on too long. People start to go, oh, she's a car crash. There's no place where people are like, you have a limited amount of time in any role. You can be an underdog for so long, but then if you rebuild your life, that can be maybe inspiring for so long, and then you're smug, and then you're privileged, and then you're, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
there is no really place to land where for women, because men do it all the time. Men are self-made, grow themselves up on a podcast and become a big boss, and then they're on the cover of Forbes or they're on the
Time
Fin
magazine.
Review this or this
Yeah.
list here or there, and then they're living there, and we don't ask any questions about them.
We don't have feelings
We don't
about
have
it.
feelings about it. We don't want them to be more grateful. None of those things. We just go, oh yeah, Hamish Blake, he's hugely successful. We all love him, you know?
Oh, but the second Zoe Foster Blake opened the doors into her house and started talking about interiors,
How
it was
dare
like
she?
bit on the nose.
Yeah, who does she think she is?
Stop flaunting your wealth.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Anyway,
it's-
I'm not comparing myself to the Blakes.
No, we know this, Revz. It's okay.
Yeah.
Listen to that.
I
Like you're
know.
apologetic, you're patchworking everything you say because you're feeling fragile and
Yeah.
fearful.
And Dee, I was like, you know, just a little. Now we've opened the curtain. I'm like, come on back here.
I love this. Producer Kate's like, this was not our episode
It was
plan at all, but we're just going to keep rolling with it because you know what? Frankly, I find this kind of honest chat much more interesting.
Yeah. Look, I've had topics I've wanted to bring to this podcast for months, almost like over a year, stuff I've wanted to talk about, and I haven't brought it because I'm
Censoring.
I'm censoring and
Yep.
I'm afraid and I'm worried about the backlash or the judgment or whatever. And yeah, it's just, that's not what the point of this is, you know?
Yeah.
That's just, it's not, we're not here to serve up,
Yeah,
I don't know.
but because criticism is hard, right?
Yeah.
And things like being called out, you're privileged. What do you do with that?
Yeah.
You know, it's like, yes, I acknowledge I am, but
Yeah.
does that mean I don't share my life anymore? Because if I do, it's going to trigger people. Like, what is that? That is silencing women,
Yeah, it is.
to be honest. Like,
Yeah.
it is.
It is.
And it sucks. And I'm not here for that.
Yeah.
And I want to talk about this. And I want to talk about what's going on in your heart and mind and soul.
Yeah.
Because it's actually way more helpful than pretending.
I know, and it's connection. But I think we all know those people. Like, you know, I think this is the other thing. It sort of does mirror a mini version in my life. There are people who are happy to be around you when you're down and out. You know, when you're being kicked in the guts or when you're having a hard time, when you're your worst version of yourself, there'll always be people who are really good at being there in those moments. And sometimes those people come with you as you rebuild, and sometimes they can't, you know, or they don't want to, or it makes them uncomfortable if you get yourself out of that situation. Or in the reverse, if you stay in one place and repeat over and over and over again, people get sick of it and can't come with you. And I think that's
Wow, that sounds a bit of a you're damned if you do and damned if you don't.
I think that's what I'm sitting with, and I'm
Yeah.
finding really an awful truth is like,
Yeah.
and again, it's very for women only. You know, I
know.
think we all know men in our lives who are just, oh, he's useless. You know, that guy, oh, he's a mess. We always just pick up the slack for him. We don't do that for women.
Can we not just agree then that if it really is a case of damned if you do, damned if you don't, that you just forward ahead in the direction of the truth of who you are?
Yeah, just
Because
do.
I feel like that's the only
I know.
option.
And I think people do get there.
Yeah.
Well,
but
they do
I-
either.
but-
They
but-
either pull the roller door down and go, fuck off, I don't need this. I'm
Yeah,
going
but
to
we're
ground.
not going to do that to the DLs.
No.
Like, we're not.
No.
I don't want you to.
No,
And
I'm not gonna do that.
I don't want to. I've played the Instagram game a lot longer than you, and
Yeah.
I've had a weird sort of D-grade profile on Neighbours for a time where I had weird people call out at me in a department store by my character name, which was very uncomfortable. And so I've had this sort of lived experience, and I do feel that you've got to let go of the optics, because when you get caught up in optics, how do I look if I say this? How do I look? It's you're destined for doom,
Yeah.
because you get to a point where you're overthinking everything. You're psychoanalyzing yourself within an inch of yourself. You stop posting. Second guessing is the worst, especially when you're someone who is so decisive
I
and
know.
intentional in nature. When you start second guessing yourself, you actually then start allowing imposter syndrome to start
100%. Oh my God.
eking
If that comes
in.
to me, I'm done.
Seriously.
It's funny. You have these narratives about yourself, right? Like I had this narrative that because I was so mercilessly bullied as a young girl that I was like, no, I grew a really thick skin. That's why I'm funny. That's why I don't give a shit. It's why I have a lot of bravery, because I didn't have anyone going, oh yes, you do it, go for it. I've never felt chosen, but I always felt really grateful for that as an adult, because I was like, that made me who I was. That gave me really thick skin and it gave me an engine. And it's funny, I actually think, if I'm being really honest, I actually think this, whatever's happening with this bigger profile and this feedback, it's giving bullying. And I think it's like,
oh, it's undoing you. You're
I
back
think-
to 8-year-old Revz.
I think it's triggering this
Yeah.
inner child in me
babe.
that just knows that feeling of like, how dare you just be you doing you?
Yeah.
We don't like that, and you're not allowed in, and you're not going to sit with us, And I just never thought that would ever get me again. Like I honestly thought I had slayed that dragon
Yeah.
because I was so little, like I was my daughter Isla's age when I was mercilessly bullied.
You were.
And yeah,
I know this has always been your core wound. I also am struggling to sit here and not give you a hug.
Yeah.
Can I just give you a cuddle?
sorry, thank you for the
No,
hug
all
break.
good. No, I'm actually happy. Like, obviously, I hate seeing you cry, but I'm also relieved for you because this energy is going to be expelled from your body.
This is like lancing a boil.
I've been seeing for weeks, you've just been like keeping it together. And I'm like, something's up with Revz. Energetically, she's off. I don't know. I can't quite work out what it is.
Yeah, I've
And
just
then we were like distracted by this curse. And I'm like, I don't think it's this.
No,
Yeah, it's
I
been
think
building up. It's okay.
It's just reopening a feeling I thought I'd left in my past.
Yeah.
And maybe it's because my daughter's also the age that I was when I just first faced this kind of girl behavior.
Yeah.
And then, when I face women online attacking me, I don't know, it just feels like full circle coming at me from all angles. And yeah, I think that's what it is. And I think, this is good. This is good to have this. Thanks for letting me trauma dump on you guys. You've really been a helpful resource to me today. I can get this out and move forward, hopefully, with this.
And you know what? I really hope that gets fed back into you is some really positive, beautiful, nurturing, loving, supportive energy.
It's just so
What
easy.
would we want for our girls, our daughters, our sons, even our kids? Like, how can humans operate in the world behaving in this way? Like, it just
But there
makes
must
me
be something
rage.
innate in us because, look, I'm telling you now, like, bullying is different at school right now. Like, the schools take it really seriously. Parents take it really seriously. But it is still there as a core human nature. You get girls in a group together. I'm telling you, it still happens.
Yeah,
And I'm not saying that to scare anyone. I'm, like, saying that because we need to arm ourselves. I think it's a better world. Because, look, I'll just say it. We've had some incidences lately that have been dealt with really well. From parents, from the school, everything. Dealt with really well. And that would never have happened in our day. In our day, it was like, oh, it can make it worse. think we all just sweep this under the rug.
Totally.
You know, and I feel like it can make it worse was the excuse that was given to sort of not deal. But I think it is like animal kingdom kind of like innate in groups of girls. And I think what I love so much about the DL community is it doesn't feel like there's mean girls. It's like the mean girls don't come to the DL table. That when we're lame, we're cringe to them. They don't even look over our way. And it's this safe space at the back of the cafeteria for the drama nerds and the hot messes and the ADHD kids and the kids with eating disorders and whatever. Like, we're not the cool kids in the classroom. And I love that so much
Same.
because it's so safe, you know?
And do you know what? The key word, it really is safe. And do you know what I think is the biggest flex in terms of how to be a good friend is being a safe person. I'm kind of obsessed with this word, being a safe person. And it's funny. I know Mother's Day was a few weeks ago and I keep referring back to it, but it just still feels so fresh. But I wrote in my card to my mum, like, thank you for being our safe person because I meant it. Like me, Raf, Iggs, Hubs, we can be our ugliest selves or going through whatever, throwing a tantrum and then laughing together. Like we can do it in the company of my mum because we feel safe. We don't feel judged. She doesn't intervene. She just listens. And it's such a skill. Well, it's innate for her, but it's a skill that more of us should be learning. Yeah, to take on is just to be, it's like that asking a friend, like, do you want advice or do you just want me to listen?
Yeah.
You know, just getting really good at that. And
What do you need right now? Do you need to workshop this or you just need to get it out?
Yes, and to bring it back to the DLs, I feel like where we share similarities as a collective is we care to be that safe space friend.
Yeah.
And if you're not, to begin with, when you join the podcast, you might go, I want to be that
You
for
kind of
someone.
learn it.
You learn it. And then you
Yeah.
extend kindness and give people the benefit of the doubt and trust that people's intentions are good. Like people have so much skepticism now in this world. Like there might be someone who listens to this episode and is like, I roll Revz. Like what a performance. Like I hate to say it, right? But there will be that like 1% person who's questioning the truth behind this podcast. Why do they keep saying this wasn't in the episode plan? I don't believe it. They've said it so much. The lady doth protest too much. Well, it fucking wasn't. Okay, I'm going to say it here. But let's stop putting energy to the 1% of
I know.
dickheads.
That's the thing. It's so loud.
And it is loud. They're fucking squeaky. Well, I'm going to oil the shit out of them right now.
Yeah, it happens everywhere. It happens in every workplace, every family, every group of friends, every schoolyard, every group of mums, every group chat. Like anywhere there's a group of people, we're all porous to the dynamic and the vibe, you know? And it is really easy and liberating to be like Yai, to be a safe space. Like I'm with you. It's the thing I try the hardest to be, mostly for my kids, for my partner, for my friends. All I want at the end of my days is that my kids feel that way about me. You know, I want them to go, I could take fucking any mistake to my mum and she would hold me through that. You know, she wouldn't judge me. She wouldn't rouse on me. She wouldn't tell me what I should have done better. She wouldn't make it a lesson, you know, that she just heard me. And because I think the people we love the most, right? I know for me, the people I love the most, that I want to be with around the most, the people I can go, here's my worst fucking self. You know, here is the worst thing I've ever done. And they go, whoo-hoo, let's make a joke about it.
Yeah,
Or like,
that was a doozy.
that was really bad or whatever.
Yeah.
But like you can joke about it or you can hold them or you can work it out or jam ideas together, whatever. But like you don't lose any love.
Well, there's that unconditionalness that sometimes we lose within certain dynamics and relationships. And it's hard to understand. It really is.
Yeah.
But we can only show up for the world and be responsible for ourselves.
That's it.
Do you know, like, this is a bit of a Yai praise episode, but like the way my mum moves through the world is she's so fucking magnetizing because she leaves people better than when they came to her. Like your cup runneth over.
100%.
You know, it's not a negative interaction. You don't spend time with my mum and go, God, I feel drained. You know, I feel sapped of energy.
That hurt.
Yeah, or ouch. Well, what did she mean by that comment?
Yeah.
Like, you know, like she really does pour into you into people. That's what she does. And I feel like that's how I want to exist
Yeah.
in the world, in my community, no matter how big or small, whether it's like my kids' school community.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, that was unexpected.
Don't say that too many times, Revz. People might doubt you. Oh, honey, I'm glad
And I
you're
will
laughing.
just say for the record, I am obsessed with my couch. Okay, it's a great couch, and I do recommend it.
And do you know what? To the DLs who went and bought one, they're fucking stoked with their couch. So you did them a solid. Everyone calm down. Oh,
Yeah.
producer Kate, there we go.
She
She
brought one.
ended up buying a wattle couch. Hashtag not spawn because it's from Gem, okay? But she bought a wattle couch and I went over to... She paid for it and I went over to Katie's house and I was like, damn, this couch. And Katie's like, it's that wattle couch. And I was like, it's fucking nice.
I think I know the answer to this, but have you ever done a partnership where you were like, oh, that felt dirty because I don't really like this thing?
Like, I can't think
No,
of
you
one
would
off
never.
the-
I've done one in my
Okay.
time. Can I just get, now that I'm just getting shit out, can
Cleanse-
I just
cleanse
get,
your
I'm
aura.
cleansing. I got to get it all out.
What
I did
was
one.
it?
I took on, our partnership's lead, Becky, will be like, stop it. No, I did an old El Paso job. What do you remember?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did an old El Paso job once because I look, I'll be honest, I needed the money. I was like, needed it. And I was
Okay.
like, yep, okay, this doesn't really align with who I am or what I do on Instagram. But yep, I will do an old El Paso partnership. And
It
they
made you feel dirty.
And then they sent me the brief and the product, and it was like, and I was like, that's fine. We can do like a Taco Tuesday thing. It'll be really cute. I'll make it fun. It won't annoy anyone. And then they were like, we've done a remix, and now we're putting Japanese flavors into our tacos. And I was like, fuck, I can't make this cute. Why would anyone want a teriyaki chicken taco?
Me.
That's weird.
No, I keep going.
Anyway, I sold my soul. And I took the money, and I was like, I would never buy this.
Well, yes, if I
but
recall,
that's the only time.
I remember we actually had a whole conversation about this because one of my sayings to Revz is larger later.
Yes.
As in, don't take those patchwork jobs where it doesn't quite feel right, but you're like, I need the money. You just wait.
Yeah.
You wait and then good things will come. You stay authentic and true.
I know.
The juice will come. But it's hard, right? Like, I get it. You're a single mum. You're hustling.
Do you
Like,
remember how much
also-
my money was draining out of my
Yes,
account
it
and
was.
legal fees?
It was, Revz. And so, we don't judge you for that. But,
Yeah.
like,
Teriyaki chicken taco. I judge it.
I'm disappointed that you're judging that because I think that's quite a vibe.
Isn't that just called like a bao bun?
No,
I
not
guess
at all.
that's
It's different.
Vietnamese.
Do you know what? I personally, if we're going to get into this kind of chat, like, I love a tandoori chicken burger,
Okay.
you know?
So you like your fusions?
I love me a few. Well,
Well, you are a fusion. You're an English Thai fusion.
yeah. My food taste is a product of who I am.
Do you like
From a-
Japandi interiors?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do actually.
That is Japanese Scandinavian
It is
interiors.
very minimalist.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. Yeah,
Mhm.
big time. I
Okay.
like lots of things that are mixed. Like way more interesting to
Yeah.
mix it up. It's like when I did a partnership with Lively, the furniture brand, and they asked me like, "What's your interior style?" And I was like, "Eclectic." Like I don't know. I can't answer that question. Like modern, coastal, mid-century. Like I honestly don't know. I just gravitate to what I like. I
Yeah.
know what I like and I mix it together and I know how it fits in a space.
Your interior style is now dopamine. That's your style.
Yeah, but also comfort and functionality. I can't escape that side of myself. Like I actually can't.
She's a
Like it's got to be pretty, but it's also got to be functional, easy to clean. It's like lazy girls furniture.
She's
like
putting the fun in functional.
oh,
She's a fusion
Okay.
of practical and silly.
it's true.
Sorry, I keep hitting the mic.
It's fine.
I'm a mess. Let's
No,
not
you're
spawn.
not.
No, I'm not. I'm an empowered queen. I'm going forward with cunty energy.
Fuck yeah.
Pew pew, rebounding all the negative.
Purple Power Rangers back. Pew, pew, pew. Oh, now she's Spidey.
Oh, I don't know why
I-
I did
I
that. I
don't-
was actually picturing arm jewelry,
Yeah.
like cuffs, like gold cuffs that go pew pew rebound.
Do we want to like create this on ChatGPT
Force field.
and see it for reals? Should we start a trend on?
No,
Insta-
just
no.
hit me with your not spawn.
Have I got a not spawn from you? Actually, this is a DL not spawn.
Ooh.
DL, who we caught up with at the fundraising event. Her name is Josie.
Oh yeah.
And she had this blazer on. And I was like, this blazer's fucking elite. Where is it from? First of all, fell in love with the color, the fabric, the texture, the cut. And then I learnt, you know, Revs, whenever I wear a blazer, you always pull up my sleeves. You're like, Jem, your sleeves need to go. I'm like, I know.
Yeah.
And I was like, but I've got like, I don't know, maybe thin forearms and they don't want to stay up. And you can't like
Slippery forearms. Such a problem.
It is. And then I was like, God, I need to invest in what my mum used to wear in the 80s.
Those cuff things?
Those cuff things.
Yes.
Anyway,
I want some of
Josie, who is one of our Golden Girl DLs, she was like, well, the coolest thing about this Witchery blazer, it has inbuilt elastic in the arms.
Stop.
And she's like, I don't have those bands on, Jem. It's the elastic, but it doesn't impact the shape. So if you pulled it down to the wrist, it's straight. But when you scrunch it up, the elastic tightens around your forearm and holds the blazer. And then I was like, why hasn't every blazer been designed this way?
Yeah,
where
for
you
all
have
time.
the choice.
The choice.
Anyway, Witchery have done it. It's called the Stitch Detail Blazer. It comes in multiple colors. I think it comes in 3 or 4 colors. There's like a taupey color that you would love, Revs. There's also a creamy color. Anyway, check it out. It is not cheap. It is $299. But Josie said to me, Witchery had a 30% off sale, which brought it right down.
Yep, cost per wear as well if you're a corporate girly.
100p. And a blazer of this fit and style, it's not following a trend. It's a classic wardrobe staple.
Nice.
So I reckon if you can find a way to get it on sale or get a code or whatever, I don't know, you might be able to get it for $250, which I think is a
it's pretty
bargain
good for a blazer.
staple piece. And the
Mate,
qual.
I spent $175 at Coles yesterday on 2 bags of groceries.
Preach.
My sister goes, was there Meredith's goat's cheese in there? And I was like, there was. She's like, every time I put that shit in my trolley, I know it's going over $150, whatever else is in there. But yeah, 2 bags of groceries, $175. So
Give me a blazer,
give
honestly.
me a blazer anytime and we just won't eat that week.
Revsy.
Yes.
Hit me with your nut spawn.
I have been so excited about this nut spawn. I almost put it on Instagram and I was like, no, save it for your nut spawn. Because it is such, it's what nut spawn is all about. Long-time DLs will know that my happiest place in the whole world is in my Qantas pajamas.
Yeah,
okay?
those soft fuckers.
Now,
so
I
good.
don't fly Qantas business class on the reg. I've done it 1.5 times. But anytime anyone can snaffle them for me, they do. They know I love them so much. And I have 3 pairs and they have holes in them and I wash them all the time and they're threadbare, but I love them. Anyway, Kmart was in there while Ted was at gymnastics of the day doing
Hold
late
the
night shopping.
phone.
Yeah.
Are we
yeah.
going from Qantas PJ level softness to discussing about a Kmart product? My ears have perked up.
Kmart have just released a cotton jersey pajama set that is $25 that I shit you not feels like my Qantas pajamas.
Stop it immediately.
I am putting a link in the show notes. $25, Jam. It comes in grey marl. That's what I got because Qantas. It comes in navy. It comes in lavender, purple Power Ranger, and it comes in like a light blue with navy pipe. It's got piping. It's that classic PJ with the little collar.
Is it button down or is
Button
it
down, but then like no, but it's so soft.
Okay, question.
Yes.
Oh, I'm not going to do it. I take it back.
No, go on.
No, I'm
Ask your question.
not. No,
Go on.
do you not? No, I'm actually not
No,
going
ask
to.
it.
Have you washed them?
Yes.
Okay,
And
and
they're
they've
still
held
great.
the softness.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
And do you know what? I can tell they're going to go and go and go. I
Okay.
can just tell. It's not they're not shrinky. It's just they feel exactly like the Qantas ones.
Okay, full trust then.
Full trust. I
God,
recommend
I really
grey.
test your not spawns, don't I? Now that you've made me aware of it, I can't unsee it, and I'm like, Jem, refrain.
She's the
from-
not spot lab over here.
Look, I'm that person you go to if you've invented something, because we know lots of people who invent something. Apparently, said no one ever. You bring it to me, and I will poke
So
it
stress test it.
to find the holes. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
right. That's me. Is there a job description
Yeah.
for that? No. Anyway,
Podcast host.
full of opinions.
Thanks for being here today, guys.
Yeah, this was a rogue episode, but
Rogue.
I'm actually relieved for you, Revsy.
Thanks, babe.
You seem lighter already. I feel like you've been holding this shit in for weeks now, if I'm honest.
Well, Thank you for letting me trauma dump. I won't make a habit of it, but I appreciate you all.
Every once in a while.
Every
it's
once in
fine.
a while. I love you. And oh my God, we're so pumped about Monday. We can't wait to see you all coming along to the show.
Yeah, this show is going to be a special one, DLs. Oh, the things that we can't tell you that we wish we could. Who is she? It goes on sale on Monday. You can head to our website, wedon'thavetimeforthis.com, for all the deets.
Oh, and there's a really good episode of More Time coming out this Thursday where we actually get into the juicy discussion of women who hate their engagement rings. And also if the podcast had houses, what they would be called and which one we would be in, which is very fun.
Yes, it was a fun episode. So come and join us over at More Time on Thursday. Or as always, we'll be back in your ears bright and early on Friday with a Bestie Hotline.
Bye, legends.
Bye-bye.